Welcome to the Allan Berry Reports TV show. I'm Allan Berry Laboucan. I'm the editor of the Allan Berry Reports and the host of this show. Thank you very much for joining us. On today's show, I'm going to open with a chat about a little bit about copper. Copper is one of the commodities that we follow in our email newsletter and on our blog. And then I'm going to talk about one of the copper companies that we follow in the reports. In regards to copper, I'm very bullish on the price of copper going forward, and some of the main reasons have to do with long-term supply and demand trends. For the last couple decades, there's been a pretty serious underinvestment in exploration to find new deposits that ultimately turn into future producers, and this has put a significant crimp on pressure on the supply chain for copper. Now, in the long term, that's sort of been where we have been in the past. Going forward, the supply chain for copper remains weakened, and then you look at the demand coming from not just developed economies, but emerging economies as well, and the industry is just not finding the deposits as quickly as they can. We need these big deposits like Escondida, the Grasberg deposit in Indonesia, but those kind of deposits are really kind of only once every decade kind of deposits that you find in the industry. And in reality, going forward for the next few decades, we're going to be having to find several of those each decade, and you can sort of look forward and over the next 10 years, and there's just not enough of those new discoveries or mines in development that can feed that future demand. So that's sort of in a nutshell what the long and short-term situation is with copper, and those are the fundamentals of the key things that we follow when it comes to copper. Another reason that we follow copper is because it is such an important commodity for economic development. Really gives you some great insight into the demand. It gives you some great insight into what's happening with the global economy, and it's a very good predictor. And so those are some of the key reasons that we follow copper, the commodity. But we also follow copper stocks and copper companies, and what's more difficult when it comes to finding copper companies is the reports that we have always been focused on mining-friendly jurisdictions. These are places where there's been long histories of mining, and so what's tricky is to find these kind of deposits in what we call mining-friendly jurisdictions, and so for example, we have approximately 20 plus companies that we follow in the gold space, and less than 10 in the copper space. Now, that isn't because we're more bullish on gold than we are on copper. What's more difficult is finding the gold, or finding copper companies in mining-friendly jurisdictions, and so that's part of what makes it difficult. But that is also an indication of where things are going in the future. If we're having a hard time finding companies that are finding those kind of deposits, then it looks like the supply chain is going to stay challenged for many years into the future. Now, the company I'm going to talk about today is a company called Nevada Copper Corporation, and to get the disclosure out of the way first, we're not shareholders of the company. They are a featured company in our email newsletter, and we've had had them in the reports since April the 6th, 2008. That was the 17th edition. If you're interested in finding that edition, and we featured them in other editions as well, you can go to our website, and on our website you'll find a section called Reports, and in there you can find the 17th and all of our past reports for that matter. And their key project is called the Pumpkin Hollow Project. It's down in Nevada, in western Nevada. They have two, what's quite interesting about this project is they have two key zones at the Pumpkin Hollow project. One is a higher grade, deeper deposit, and then there's also a lower grade open pit type target that is right near surface. And so oftentimes when looking at mining companies or junior exploration and mid-level companies, often they'll have one of those kind of projects, either a high-grade project or a lower-grade open-pit type project. In this case, Nevada Copper has both on the same project that they own 100% of, and so it's quite a compelling two zones that they have on this at Pumpkin Hollow. Now they've completed resource estimates and they've combined the two, and the combination of the two is over 9 billion pounds of copper. That's in the measured, indicated, and inferred categories, and then they've also got silver. And there's other metals in there, silver and gold as well. You can find those news releases with their resource estimates on their website. But the guts of it is this 9.3 billion pounds of copper. And so in addition to that, they have on the high grade portion of it, they have somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 billion pounds of copper on that, and that could have some very big impact on the economics of the project. So that's sort of in a nutshell where they are, what they're doing. They're very focused on copper. They've got these other credits, including gold and silver and iron ore in the deposits as well, and so that helps out the economics. They have completed in the past a preliminary economic assessment, and what they're working on right now is they're currently drilling. In fact, they've due to some of the recent drilling results, they've upped their game when it comes to how much drilling they're doing this year. They're almost doubling what was initially planned for the project. So they're really rolling up their sleeves, and they're going to be working really hard. Another important development that they're working on is the pre-feasibility study that they expect later this year, and they will be incorporating all of their past drilling and their current drilling into that preliminary economic assessment work. So it's an advanced stage project. It's in a mining friendly jurisdiction. It's a copper focus, and they've really got a strong story, and later on we'll have a link to their website so you can go and do some of your own homework and assess what you think of the company. That's a wrap on today's commentary. Before closing, I'd like to stress that this show and our reports are for information purposes only. We aren't making buying or selling recommendations. It's important for you to do your own homework, research, and speak with your financial advisors before making any investment decisions. We're always trying to grow our audience, and if you'd like to help us, below the screen you'll see some share buttons that will help you send directions to the show to your friends that follow the market via Twitter, Facebook, or email. We really appreciate you taking the time to watch the show. We know that everybody's busy these days, and we strive to provide a show that gives you high quality information. We hope you can join us for future shows or visit us on our website at alanberryreports.com, and all of our past shows are on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/alanberryreports. Thanks again for joining us, and have a great day.